Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Oh, my volume's down, guys. Well, let me start that over. Let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I don't start like that anymore. Welcome back to Paranoi Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trebles Garcia, and I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Guys, I want to remind you that the most important thing that you could do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at paranoiradio.com. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Most of these episodes that I'm dropping now were dropped in June. So guys, please do not forget that it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And not only on the month, but it's men's mental health, human mental health awareness every single day. There's people getting lost and people offing themselves. So please, if you have 10 seconds of life, that's all it takes to go to paranoiradio.com and press on the 24/7 life button. Guys, you could belong and put your burden on somebody else. Do not kill yourself. I don't want mothers and sisters and brothers and fathers crying because you offed yourself. Okay? Belong. I want you to fulfill your life, please. Also, make sure you check out Cryptid Warfare Operations. Guys, they give you the guidelines and the assets and the tools to deal with these pesky critters eating and abducting your cows and chickens. It's not funny, guys. I don't get paid to say this. I'm uplifting people. Make sure you keep it cryptid, keep it weird, get freaky, and make sure you check out Cryptid Warfare Operations. That's on the description of the show. And also check out Ali Christine. Ali Christine is a beautiful human being, and she gives you the tools to make kids healthy again. Live parasitic free. I like to say that parasites are demons. Whatever it is that's there, she gives you the tools to get rid of those pesky critters also inside your gut, keeping your gut healthy. Make sure you check her out, Ali Christine. And guys, check out Flavors of the Forest. Season your meat before you eat. It's beautiful garlic dust created and harvested directly by Bigfoot's hands. So make sure you check out Flavors of the Forest. Now let's jump in from the deep pool and set the mood. Please give my warm welcome to my next special guest. She's an amazing speaker. She has her own show. She's doing great numbers. She's doing her rounds. She's dropping great content. She's very consistent. Please give a warm welcome to Danielle Mercy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being on the show. Your show is called Rabbit Hole Conspiracies Podcast?
The Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, and everybody, like, anytime you talk about a conspiracy theory, they're like, oh, let's dive down the rabbit hole. So I was like, you know what? That would be a great title for a show.
I love it. You know what? That's perfect marketing. You dove right into that one.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, here we go. So, and I didn't add the conspiracy theories until later, but that has helped more people find me on like Apple and Spotify when they type in just conspiracy theories and they're looking for a podcast. Adding that into my name really helped because now people can find me.
And you're one of the only women out there doing it this hard.
Yes. There's a couple others, but mostly like a lot of women like true crime. And don't get me wrong, like I love true crime. Like all the episode or like all the podcasts I was listening to before I started my podcast was true crime podcasts. But I thought that that market's pretty saturated with women in their 30s talking about dead people. So I was like, you know what? I could talk about something else. So here we are.
Yes. And you're doing a great job. I think everybody should take the time of their day to go check you out on Instagram at least. And then if you like their post, make sure you translate those numbers and go check her out at all podcast platforms, I assume, right? And also on YouTube?
Yep, YouTube, Rumble, anywhere you listen to podcasts. I'm on TikTok as well, but I don't respond to messages as well on TikTok. So if you want to message me, you want to talk to me, do it on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Instagram.
Where can they find you? What's the name of the podcast and website? Do you have one?
I don't have a website yet. I'm working on it. So when it's up, it'll be stayskeptical.com. It's in the works because I'm really slow at that. But you can find me on all platforms at rabbit.hole podcast.
And again, thank you for your service. I know you briefly mentioned that you served in the Navy, so thank you again. You really do make the difference.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. You're honoring me with your presence. It's a beautiful moment, and there's never been a more important time in our life. I want to say, at least in human written history, to be outspoken about what you believe and awaken others. this is the moment. I consider us the mainstream media. Most of the stuff that you see on social media comes from different creators, like just like you and I. What have you been diving into recently on your show?
So most recently, I just finished a Donald Trump episode, and I have to say, like, you're saying it's so important for us right now to be outspoken. This is one of the only countries in the world that we can do that. Like, this is one of the only countries in the world, and I'm not trying to like toot our country's horn because I talk shit about our government constantly. But I cannot openly do a conspiracy theory podcast about our sitting president, and actually I've done this a couple times, about our sitting president and not be arrested and in jail the minute I release it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I've just dived into Donald Trump, and I just dived into the Rothschild family, the Vatican. I did a 3-part episode on the Vatican, and all things, you're like, they're all connected. And in every single one, I'm like, you know what? At least I can do this. At least I can still release this content.
I love it. You know what? If you don't mind, I know you have your space, your time spaced out for when you want to drop those episodes, but I think we should dive into a little. Just give me a little nudge. Just sprinkle it. What did you find? Because I don't know if you know, I'm a Trumper, and a lot of people are divided by it, you know.
Yep.
But I am a conspiracy theorist before I was a Trump head. Okay, so I keep the dude accountable, and I love conspiracy theories. I keep my mind open, and at the end of the day, he's just another human being. So regardless of how people feel about the political elements that are overloading our consumption and everything that we consume every single day, bombarding our senses with propaganda and the fine-tuned machine that it is, the mainstream media. Whatever it is that you feel, I could put that aside and listen to the topic and then connect the dots with you and then critically think, because that's what a lot of people are not in tune to today. They're mostly emotionally driven, right? So very important. So yeah, break it open.
Okay, let me preface everything that I'm about to say. So, who I vote for in my political views and in any of my episodes, that doesn't matter. So, I set up my episodes, I do all the history about whatever it is that we're about to learn about. So, all the history of Donald Trump, like the day he was born, what he did, like before, he was in a private school and then he went to military school, right? So, like, we know all of that information. I'm going to tell you all of that information because I don't think that you can fully understand or wrap your head around the conspiracy that I'm about to explain to you if you don't know all the history and the mainstream narrative before I tell you what the conspiracy is. So I do all of that history before I get into and I deep dive into each of the conspiracies. And then I try to tell you every conspiracy, good and bad. So I did January 6th, which of course, like, people are going to pissed about January 6th, right? But there's two sides to that narrative. And I shared that I think the FBI was letting these people into the Capitol building, which is the conspiracy, right? Of course, like, there's the narrative that, like, no, they stormed the Capitol building and they forced themselves in. Well, how are you going to you're just going to walk in to the U.S. Capitol building? Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the fact that Ray Epps, who's like one of the guys that led this whole situation, which is what I kept calling it. I didn't call it an attack because I didn't feel like we were necessarily under attack. But this whole situation, Ray Epps led this thing. This guy, so there was a Freedom of Information Act request sent into the FBI for all the information or all the communications between the FBI and Ray Epps from January 1, 2020 to January 1, 2021. And we know January 6th happened in 2021, so just 5 days later. The Information Act basically came back, they denied it. They said, while we acknowledge basically that we have that information, we cannot release it to you because that will violate his personal, what's the word they used? Like, basically personal privacy. Like, you're invading his personal privacy by getting all this information. Then my brain was like, okay, so the FBI is saying we have information, we have communication back and forth with this individual, but we're not going to give it to you because that's his privacy that you're invading. Well, who do you know that talks to the FBI on a regular basis? Do you know anybody in your life that has talked to the FBI? Any civilian in your life that has talked to the FBI in the last year? No. Any one? You can't name one, right?
I'm gonna crack this joke unless you just recently got arrested in the raid. I'm sorry, dude. You know what, dude? I'm sorry.
That's not the FBI.
I know, but there's FBI agents with them, like federal agents. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
I know one person, and that person that I know was applying to work at the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I know a decent amount of people in my life. Like, I don't know everybody, but I know a lot of people. And not one of them is just talking to the FBI, nor have I ever just talked to the FBI.
Mm.
So you're telling me that this random civilian was just in communication with the FBI for no reason. And then the same guy, Ray Epps, got put on the FBI's most wanted list. He was number 16 on the most wanted list. Like January 8th, maybe he was put on the list. And then just a couple days after that, he was taken off the list, never to be put back on. How do you get off the FBI's most wanted list? You either are you die, you're captured, or you're an informant for the FBI.
1,000%.
Well, he wasn't captured and he's not dead. So they just decided, oh, we're going to talk about January 6th forever, but we're just going to let this guy go. We're not concerned about that guy anymore. That doesn't make any sense. So that conspiracy is more like a pro-Trump conspiracy, but then most of the episode was actually anti-Trump conspiracies. I've shared actually on a couple other podcasts that I was a part of, not my podcast, but other podcasts that I did vote for Donald Trump. People get so mad about that. I voted for the lesser of two evils, and I vote in every single election because I fought for the right to vote, so I will always vote, and I don't know why I feel so strongly about it, but I always do. And I didn't feel strongly that Kamala could run our country correctly. I don't like Donald Trump. I feel like he's got a cult-like following, and I feel like that cult-like following is because he is driving division. And that's one of the biggest conspiracies that I wanted to cover, is that he's just another deep state prop. You know, and so you have all these people that hate Trump. People are so polarized with this. You have this whole group of people that hate Trump with everything they have in their being. And you have all these people that love Trump with everything in their being. And you have just almost like a small, or what it feels like is a small middle ground. It's like, I don't know, I could go either way on the guy. He's not like great, but I don't like him either. You know, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so
especially in the conspiracy world. There's a lot, people want to that you start dividing them between black pillars and hopeless maniacs, and then you have, but his history, and then like I said in the beginning of the show, I have to look at this entire thing from a 50,000-foot view, because at the end of the day, he's human, he's corruptible, and be like, but you hold him up so high, and you're treating him like a savior. I'm like, no, I think he's a bullhorn, but like I said, the less of two evils, and it's a complicated situation, guys, but yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I think that and this is actually my full opinion, although I don't share my opinions on my show, just because I'm not trying to corrupt anybody's opinion of the conspiracy. So I normally save that for Patreon, but my full opinion is that he is a deep state prop, that he is put into office, that he has been able to run because he polarizes the country, and a divided country is easier to conquer. We 100%. Had during 2020, the end of his first presidency, we've got Black Lives Matter. And then all throughout, and we saw like the Roe v. Wade thing that's really divided people, and we're seeing that again right now with everything that's happening in Georgia. And then we have like the trans movement that's happening as well. Like, we have all these movements that are really polarizing the country. You either fully accept everything that's happening, or you're homophobic, transphobic, racist, sexist, anti-Semitic. You're something aggressive. Like, you're either all for it, or you are, what's the word I'm looking for? That's like, you're
extreme.
Anti-everything.
You're an extremist everything. You have to be extreme on one side. Yeah, black or white, power of duality. That's one of the most ancient ways, one of the most critical things, not only in the cult following, but in magic, even in the Bible. Duality is one of the Freemasonry, everything. It's just duality is one of the things. You have to have full-on black or full-on white.
Exactly.
And then through division, order through chaos.
It's funny that you bring up magicians and magic, because I had to pull up my notes for this. You got to give me just a second, because I don't have it all fully memorized, but you're going to be surprised. So MAGA, right? Everyone's like MAGA this, MAGA that. MAGA, Make America Great Again, if you don't know, because I do break everything down like Barney style as well. Because, like maybe somebody's visiting this conspiracy for the first time, or has been living under a rock. Let's see. Okay.
There's a lot of people that live under rocks.
Yeah, right? So in Latin, MAGA means witch. In Italian, it means sorceress. In Spanish, it means magician. In Polish, it means magician. In French, it means magic.
It's a Latin word, Latin rooted word. Yeah.
Yep. So we have all these people, and they're talking about magic, which is like basically like an occult thing.
Hmm.
And now we have all these people chanting MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. So we're getting, and like all these, it's not even people that are for Trump. You also have all these people that are against Trump, like fuck MAGA, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. You're putting all that energy out into the world.
Hmm.
And so now you're like, what spell are we casting?
I have to amplify that message. 1000%. So I agree with you. Still, I think, this, like I said in the beginning, open mind. What do you think? How do you think these baseball league with all these teams stay relevant? You have a polarized one. You have rivalries. You have the Dodgers versus the Yankees. You have Lakers
Hmm.
versus the Celtics. You have the big ball players. And then when they are doing a classic one versus one, and you're in the playoffs, you have one team that's chanting one name, the other team that's chanting a name, and they're all putting their energy and pouring their energy into that stadium. And it's the
Hmm.
same thing. It's all theater, and yet they score. And the way everything is just losing, right?
Hmm.
All that
Yeah,
energy gets poured in there, and they're harvesting it to amplify commercials. Super Bowl. What
exactly.
happens at Super Bowl? They're not only putting commercials that are 30 seconds long for $50 million, right? But
Right.
they're keeping you in a hamster wheel. They're still reeling you in, and I'm not a sports. I don't watch sports anymore, or TV, or music, or anything because I'm a conspiracy theorist. But we used to go to Long Beach for bar hopping when I was drinking, and there's this Raider all over. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a freaking fan of sports anymore. So I walked in there, and I was wearing a dark blue shirt. And then they were like, "Oh, if you know, this is a Raiders place, and isn't that just because I had a different colored shirt on?" So
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not even into sports like that. Yeah, but what the Raiders just not like? I'm like, bro, like I don't know. So I almost got, and this is people like diehards by this logo, by this color scheme, by this entertainment, right? Because the NFL
Yeah.
is an entertainment agency. It's not even a sports league, bro.
Oh,
And it's
no, not anymore.
not anymore. So you're like looking at him like, bro, like this is so WWE, bro. Like raw, like Goldberg versus Stone Cold, all theatrics. So it's the same thing with politics. I have to agree with you. And then and I speak Spanish. Maga translates into magia. Magia is magic, and that's 1000%. That is solidified. True.
Right. And so like, and I just use Google Translate because I was like, I'm curious like how many um different languages that this translates to. A lot of the languages it literally just translates to MAGA, and so it's like whatever. But there's a lot. I mean, Latin being one of the biggest ones. And then I also went over in my episode like how many times he's been referred to as like the magic man or having a magic wand or like his magic wearing off or like all these different magic things. But then it gets a little bit deeper too because MAGA is actually the fifth and highest degree of the Church of Satan.
I didn't know that
So,
one.
yeah.
What?
So, like now we have everybody chanting MAGA, right? And we're already like almost like a spell, like magician, magic, all this. But then now we're also, if you incorporate it into the Church of Satan, now we're worshiping the devil as well.
We've seen that through music also. We've seen that when people are, oh, na, na, na,
Yeah.
throughout that na, na. Was
Yeah.
really hard about 10, 12 years ago. Every song had a na, na, na in it. And then it
Yeah.
was actually, you were actually summoning a demon. That's
And
wicked.
it was so catchy and everybody sings along, right? Like you don't realize the energy and the power that you have like singing along to things until you're like you look into what they're actually singing about. And you're talking about sports and like you think about the Super Bowl, the halftime show, and the crazy, I mean, we've seen crazy things happening at the Super Bowl show with the last, I don't know,
One.
10 years. I mean, probably longer than that, but 10 years I can remember. I haven't watched every single Super Bowl my whole life, but like they're definitely doing some rituals. I'm working on an Astro World episode right now. That was a huge ritual. I mean, and how many times we look at Taylor Swift concerts, rituals. We look at Beyonce concerts, rituals. How come everybody's thanking Beyonce? I like the Grammys. Like what did Beyonce do for you? Except if you thank her now, you will continue to be famous.
I like this episode because it's It's gonna put a staple. Flash, one of my co-hosts, is probably not gonna like it, but quite frankly, if I don't bring on guests like you that critically think and talk about the truths that are just simply truths, we're putting dots together. We're not saying that he's evil. We're saying, yo, there's connections here. We have to look into it. Hashtag look it up. Take 5 seconds of your day and stop getting fed information from TikTok and go to the search bar and do the research yourself. You might find that more connections, right? So the more people that we do it, the more that we wake up. So, but if I don't have you on the show talk about stuff like this, that it's even controversial to me because of how my Instagram account gets translated, then I'm not here spooling out the real truth. I'm not really here pushing truth. I have to entertain this idea, and I have to listen to the facts. I have to be honest with that, open-hearted and open-minded. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that in. But aside from the MAGA,
Yeah.
let's dive a little deeper. What more did you find?
So it's kind of, the other things are kind of hard to dive into in such a quick like way. I'd have to kind of set it up the way I set it up in my episode. Otherwise, I could share it with you a little bit easier.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and check her out. Like, subscribe, and check her out.
Well, and so a couple of things I dove into. I'm trying to see like in my notes what I can, like what can I cover that would be easier. I talked about the assassination a little bit. So I did a current events episode because every now and then I'll do current events, which it's typically like 5 or 6 different conspiracies into one episode because each current event doesn't have a lot of substance at the moment. And so as time goes on, we get more information, then we can put together like a long episode. But I can't do one episode on one thing that just happened. And so every now and then I'll do a current events episode right after the assassination attempt, the first one, not the second one. I did a current events episode and I kind of dove into that assassination. Since then, and what I shared in this episode was that more information has come out that maybe he was in on the assassination attempt.
That's
right, ballsy,
deep,
right?
bro. That's
Ballsy as fuck. Because
Yeah,
and I literally said in my episode, I was like, this is far-fetched, but that guy is so, like, he's dumb enough to do some dumb shit like that. Like, who would be like, hey man, take a shot at me? And the guy's like, yeah, I promise I won't hit you. Promise. Like, that is ballsy. Tell me, like, woo, right? But that's the thing. It's like, okay, nobody's gonna think that Trump's in on his own assassination attempt.
Bro,
Except how radical did everyone just like came behind him. They started supporting him more.
And then the magical power. Like,
and then like, why the hell, if you're being shot at, why would you stand up and start shouting, fight, fight, fight? Unless you know you're not going to be shot at again.
Perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. You know, okay.
And he got shot. I think that he like moved perfectly like wrong. I don't think he was supposed to actually be hit. And so he got shot. But then 2 weeks later, he's at this Bitcoin convention and he doesn't have like a scar, a scratch, anything on his ear. 2 weeks later. Okay. And I know you can heal pretty quick. I know 14 days, but
he's exposed to the best surgeons in town and plastic
You're
surgeons.
telling me he wouldn't have like a tiny little, like even like a pink spot where like it's healed? I literally have it like right here on my arm. I got scratched a couple days ago.
I'll go as far as thinking that Mother Trucker was probably in on it. And I don't think somebody really took. Okay, let's visit this. Let's visit. Okay, so let's hypothetically say, and I believe that he got shot at, guys. And this is hard for me to say, but fuck it. Look, let's hypothetically say that he was in on this movement of getting shot. I don't think the guy actually took a shot at him. I think it's weird that he's the most protected man in what's it called, in North America.
North America.
Okay. The guy gets on the roof. This guy's protected by Secret Service. He pulls out his gun. He's kicking it. He's connected to BlackRock and all this other stuff. He shoots him. He misses, kills another person. And I think at this point, I'm not thinking that he took a shot at him. I think if Donald Trump was really dumb enough to say, I'm a fake a shot, that somebody took a shot at me, there was probably something that blasted open behind his ear, fake shot. I don't think they really took a shot at him.
I can see that too.
You know, I'll go ask that, and that's why which would explain why there's no scar or anything. And even if
So
he
that's
did get
why
shot,
there's like conspiracy theories are so fluid, right? Because there's so many options here. I don't think that it was the guy, like, I don't think that the story they told us is the truth story. So what are the other stories that could make sense? He was in on the assassination. I think for sure the golf course assassination attempt he was in on because like nobody got a shot off. They just like caught the guy. You just happened to see the guy.
yeah,
Like,
he was riding the wave.
right.
I'll visit that one
Absolutely.
too. I think he was riding the wave. If let's say that now. Let's say that he did get shot, right? And then this is a perfect publicity stunt. Let's ride on it. Let's put another one out there. They're gonna hand you the freaking the votes on a golden platform, right? So
Yeah.
I'm saying, but dude, bro, and you know what? My family tells me not everything's a conspiracy. Bro,
Everything's
everything's
conspiracy.
a conspiracy. Thank you. Yes, yes.
Everything's
Everything's a
conspiracy.
freaking conspiracy. So I'm thinking, when people are just telling me, yo, no, this and that, I tell them, like, look, bro, maybe this isn't a conspiracy. This is just my heart trying to talk, right? Like, maybe this isn't a conspiracy, bro. Maybe he did get shot and God's hand moved his head so that he could be better. Maybe.
I have heard that theory too. They're like, no, he's protected by God, and that's why they
Oh
moved.
my
Like
God, I
his head was
know.
moved. I talked to somebody, and they're like, no, no, no. Donald Trump is protected by God. God has sent him here, and don't believe me. I don't like. I believe in God. I don't think God is protecting Donald Trump. Like any
Okay,
more than
so
any of the other guys. Like I don't think that he's like extra special. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not more
okay,
protected than you and me.
can
You
I?
know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And I want this is because two people are trying to debunk this. I'm trying to debunk this
Absolutely.
by
Let's
all
go.
means. Then what? Okay, so I'm 34 years old, bro. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 because I got racially
That's
felt
embarrassing for
because
you.
I know, bro. So I'm just sharing that because I was like, crap. Why? Because there was a snippet of him saying that Mexicans are rapists.
You know
That's the
what?
only thing that
I
drove
actually
me to
didn't
that,
vote for Trump in 2016 either.
right?
I didn't. I voted
It
for like
happens.
an independent guy.
So I lost my train. Okay, so let's say
Sorry.
another. I've never seen another president have so many religious Christian leaders in the White House recently. How would you explain that then? The connection of him having now more religious people, if that even means a thing, because I know religion is another thing that's just
So funny you bring that up actually. So there's a theory that because I couldn't find, or maybe I just didn't look hard enough.
I know the devil's a liar, so maybe they're all lying. I get it.
I I don't know what private school he was going to between kindergarten and seventh grade. There have been rumors, and again, I didn't look hard enough into it because I was like, let's get to the conspiracy, right? And the history part I have a really hard time getting through because I'm like, oh, I just want to know what the conspiracy is. Come on. And so I don't know exactly what private school he went to. There are rumors that he was going to a Catholic school. So then I tried to look it up. I tried to look into it a little bit more. But he has Christian beliefs, but a lot of people don't believe that he's Christian. So then I was like, okay, well, what is his father's beliefs? You know, like let's go back to his father. Maybe he has some religious affiliation. There's none. So I'm like, okay, because a lot of people believe, or there are beliefs out on the internet that he went to a Christian school and that he was raised by the Jesuits in his private school. Well,
Word.
in my conspiracies and my three parts about the Vatican, I covered the Jesuits and how the Jesuits are really kind of like the secret society under like that they help run the Catholic Church throughout the world. They're like the secret society, but they're poised now. They now have like this nice reputation. But if you look back, they haven't always had a very good reputation. And actually, they were banned from a lot of countries for a while. Then they've like re-imaged themselves and rebranded, and now they look good. And everybody's like, oh, the Jesuits, they're just teaching in schools. You're like, yeah, what are they teaching in schools though? Why have they infiltrated all the schools? So the idea is that Donald Trump is actually a Jesuit. Now, he's actually the exchequer for the Vatican and World Banks. So that's like the person that manages basically the collection and management of revenue.
Paul, before he was Paul, he was named Saul, and he was a Christian hunter. He would slaughter Christians.
Hmm.
And then until Jesus came around and changed his name he goes, you have a lot of passion, bro. You're just using it the wrong way. He changed
Right.
his name and he became a disciple. So I think God uses imperfect people to do great stuff,
I mean, we see that
which is
with King
probably
David.
right. And I'm like, fuck, bro, how fucked up would it be? And I just had this conversation with my best friend. How fucked up would it be? And I'm not even supposed to be cursing, god damn it. How messed up would it be if this guy ended up being a liar, man? Damn.
I think the more we go through it, the more it looks like he is a liar. The more it looks like on the outside, like this persona he's putting out is great. People love it, right? It's such a cute image, and people are following him. It's working. I think that he is surrounded. I mean, JD Vance is a Catholic. I mean, use your own discretion and listen to the episode, make your own choices. I mean, it's 3 episodes that I did. I didn't stop
Like,
at one.
subscribe, like, subscribe.
But like, in my personal opinion, I fully, wholeheartedly believe that the Vatican and the Catholic Church, and I don't mean all Catholics. I've met a lot of Catholics that are not like higher ups, and I think that they really want to believe in God, and they really do believe what they're being told is the truth. I think it's a cult, and I think that they are worshiping the devil.
1000%. My best friend left the show after 100 episodes because I spoke about the Vatican, and he goes, I can't deal with this. Why? Because some people are emotionally tied at the hip to their beliefs and their culture.
I agree with that. My whole family, my grandpa and his, I mean, I just came from the family reunion of a bunch of Irish Catholics. And I did a 3-part episode about how
and those fight. They fist fight.
and I don't, the truth doesn't stop because somebody has, and if you disagree, that's awesome. You know what's really cool about this country? Again, I'm not trying to like be like all gung ho America, but like what's really cool about this country? Let's disagree. That's so cool. Let's freaking do it, and let's disagree on a public forum. Like let's have the conversation because there are 2 sides to the conversation. Maybe Donald Trump didn't try to kill himself, or
that's fucking.
You know what I'm saying? But like, there's so many possibilities, and let's have open minds and open discussions. I'm not like all the way one way or all the way another. In my episodes, I try to present every conspiracy. You make your own decisions, but in doing that, I have made my own decisions as well.
Word. What time is it? 5:50. Did we already make 30 minutes? That was fast, bro.
It's why. I mean, the crazy things that we can go on and on about.
And
Do you think he was on the Epstein files?
He was on Epstein files. From New York, not files on the flight logs, from New York to Mar-a-Lago.
What's the difference?
He didn't fly to the island.
You don't know that.
And there's I know that. I know. I mean,
you're telling me that they didn't doctor the freaking logs?
Hey,
bro,
they
I was in the Navy, and the
auto-penned.
Navy doctors the logs. Get the fuck out of here.
They auto-penned all of Biden's signatures. I know this can be fake. And there's a reason why the Epstein files haven't been freaking put out. One of the biggest letdowns.
Is such a fucking loyal. God, I wish that guy was in my fucking corner. Because he is so loyal to the death he will fight for Donald Trump. And he will never release those files if Donald Trump's name is on them. If even one time, if his name is on them, they will never be released.
But then there's the police report that he put on Epstein after that freaking Mar-a-Lago party. So he No. Hey, I am upset that the freaking files haven't been put out. So I hear you loud and clear, and it's freaking annoying me. It's like one of those things, like a thorn behind the back of my. So it's burning something. And you know when you have that sixth sense, like something is wrong here, bro.
Everything is wrong. But they won't release it because it's everybody. They won't release it because it's not just Trump. It's not just the Clintons. And it's not just Prince Andrew. It's not just one person that we're like, oh my gosh, no. It's everybody. That's the thing. I think that people literally, and trust me, I fully get it. I don't think people can honestly wrap their minds around it. When you sit down and you start thinking about it and you start putting all the pieces together, I don't think we have the mental capacity to realize that it's not this person and that person. It's every person.
Bro, you think about it, bro. For just a quick example, I grew up on Jurassic Park and Star Wars. If you come and tell me that Darth Vader raped kids, I won't believe it. If you tell me that the T-Rex never existed, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, I probably won't believe it. I try to hold on to it so much because it's what I love. You know, so you're erasing movies. You're erasing entertainment. You're erasing full-on childhoods, bro. There's people that grew up on, again, for example, Star Wars, right? Childhoods, bro.
Yeah.
You're wrecking people's minds. You'll wreck their emotions. That's like
Which is
saying aliens are
why,
real.
but that's why it's so much easier. And I'm not faulting anybody because believe me, there are days that I'm like, you know what? It is so much easier to not think about that conspiracy. It is so much easier to not have these nightmares at night. It is so much easier to go and be able to sit down and watch a movie with my son and be like, wow, that was a cute little movie. Let's go to bed. And I give him a hug and a kiss and the world's not fucked. That's
But
easier.
what did that dude? What did Cypher did on The Matrix? What did he say? Ignorance is bliss. And he's chewing on the freaking steak. He goes, "Bring me back as an actor and somebody important. I'll give you all their names." The Matrix.
I have said it before and I'll say it again. I think that the movies and the shows, like they are telling you exactly what's happening, but they're doing it in like a fun way that like everyone's watching. They're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. That would never happen. And then it's actually happening, but they're like disguising it as fiction.
Then on the way out of this show, I guess the ultimate question always comes down to this. Now what?
Exactly.
Danielle, what do we do? What do we believe in?
We believe in God.
I always say this on the show. I'll say this when I'm on other shows. I say this, guys. What's your last word? Like, you know what, guys? Forget about everything that I just told you now. You can only control where your 2 feet lay. You can only change your intermediate family. You want to change the world, change your household, change your heart, change the way you behave on others. That's the only thing that you really have power on.
We're already doing it. You know what? You say now what? And I get it. I do. I understand that this is so big. We can't tackle it. And I've thought about that a lot. Because I want to do something. I'm one of those people, like, I don't like to just sit idly by and watch the shit happen. I want to do something. And we are kind of already doing something. And I don't know about you, I don't give myself enough credit. Because, like, I'm spreading this message to a decent amount of people on the internet. It's not as many people as I'd like to. I think that more people should hear what we have to say and come up with their thoughts on these conspiracies, but at least hear them out. At least know what's being said. At least know that maybe the mainstream narrative isn't correct. Because when there's this many theories, I mean, I'm on like 170 something, maybe 180 episodes, and I have 566 requests. When there are that many theories that the mainstream narrative is wrong, there can't be many instances.
There's never been a time more important than now to speak out, learn, and get wakened up. That was very controversial, but I freaking loved it. I loved it. We shared laughs, we shared topics, and I really want people to take a second look at everything. It doesn't matter how you feel. You know what's the beautiful thing about the truth? It's that regardless of how you feel at the end of the day, it's still the freaking truth. So, guys, if you liked what you heard today, if you want to learn and the more of the deep dives from MAGA, from Trump, from Travis Scott, and all the other great stuff that she's offering, make sure you check out Danielle. Danielle, where can they find you one more time?
You can find me wherever you listen to your podcast, The Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories. I'm now an award-winning podcaster, so check out that podcast wherever you can watch it on YouTube or on Rumble. You can find me. I answer every single message I get on Instagram. So if you want to message me, you want to talk to me, go to rabbit.hole podcast, or I'm also rabbit.hole podcast on TikTok.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're going to live the dream. There's not many of you women out here doing the do. There should be more. So I congratulate you, and may everything that you put your mind through, you put your hands on, all your endeavors become gold, bring wealth and health to you and your family and the future of your show. I really believe that from the bottom of the heart. You know why? Because this is everything for me as well. So when you say you're an award winner, you won, I won, baby, because that's what I want for me. I'm bringing that home too. So one of these days, I'm going to see you at the freaking top, man. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to bless you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you check out in the description of the show, like and subscribe and leave comments. Engage today, not tomorrow. Today, drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace.